Hello, I'm Lisa, and I'm an aspiring author who doesn't know what she's doing, and I'm going to show you around my tracker. So you might already remember this tracker from my weekly vlogs, and I wanted to share a template with you in case you wanted to track your word count the same way. I track quite a few metrics on here, but I think the number ones that I always look at is the words left, the total time written, and the average words that I write per day. And I really like this graph as well. For this tracker, all you do is fill out a form and then everything else is calculated for you. So let me walk you through the template. So you can see that it looks exactly the same as mine, but everything's zeroed out or it has that hashtag div error. Don't worry about this hashtag div error. It just means that it's being divided by 0. Once you start entering data into this, it'll go away. All of the formulas are already entered into the boxes, so you don't have to manually add any formulas. On the user guide, I have a lot of quick questions you might have and answers and just how to get started with the template. You can see there's quite a bit of options here, including that hashtag div error I talked about. But of course, if you have questions, please leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So outside of the dashboard, there are 2 more tabs that work together to be able to put the data onto the dashboard. The first one is your session metadata tab. This is where the form that I'll show you in a moment will feed the data into. And we have a NaNoWriMo graph data tab. This is where all of the words written data comes from. Here you can see I linked a Google form to this spreadsheet. Basically what it will do is as soon as you fill out this form, it'll automatically populate the data into your spreadsheet. From there, all of my formulas will automatically do the math for you and pop it out onto the dashboard. So basically all you have to do is at the end of your writing session, fill out this form and everything else is done automatically. So that's a quick walkthrough. Let's go ahead and show you how to set it up. So you'll have to do a few things here. The first thing is you're going to have to copy the link that's in the description below and download the spreadsheet. So it should look something like this. When you click enter, it should say view only. And then from here, you'll just click file, make a copy, and then you'll name it whatever you want to name it. And then you'll have a copy of that spreadsheet. Note that this session metadata doesn't have an actual form linked to it right now. We're going to have to fix that. And if you prefer written instructions, right here, it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So now that we have a copy of our spreadsheet, we can close the view only version. The next thing you're going to do is make a copy of the Google form. So you'll paste in the URL that's down in the description. It should look a little bit like this. And then you'll be taken to this page. You'll say copy document. Would you like to make a copy of writing data? And then you just click make a copy. And it'll open up the form. Now that you have the copy, you can rename it whatever you like. It is really important to note that these 2 documents are not linked yet. We're going to have to manually link the form to the Google Sheet. The way we do that is by going to responses. We're going to click link to sheets and we're going to select existing spreadsheet and then you click select. From here, it'll open up your OneDrive and you'll want to do the copy of your writing data tracker template. So now you can see that it's linked, but you also can see that it created a brand new form, which is going to give us some issues. So what we'll want to do is rename this form responses 3 to session metadata. But first we're going to have to change the name of session metadata so that way it doesn't give us an error that we have 2 tabs named the same. So we're going to control copy or control C or command C if you're on Mac, session metadata, and then let's just put a 1 here. And then on this one where there's the little form response icon, we're going to rename it. And we're going to control paste or control V or command V, the session metadata exactly the way it was written in the other one. If you don't do this step, it will break the formulas. It's going to look for data from session metadata tab. So now that we've made the session metadata 1, we took the headers from up here and we copied them here. We're going to go ahead and enter our base case. So we're going to go to our writing session metadata. We're going to do copy responder link, and then we're going to paste it into here. From here, we're going to skip the day of the week. We're going to enter the date as October 31st, 2025. And for the time, we're going to do 12 a.m. to 12 a.m. Words written is 0 and scenes is 0. Unless you've already started your project, then you'll want to enter the words written that you've already completed before starting to use this tracker, and same with the scenes. And you'll go ahead and click submit. Now that we've submitted this, we're going to go back to our sheet, and you'll see that there's nothing in minutes written, and that's right. So we'll go to the session metadata. We're going to take this H2 and we're just going to control copy, and it's going to paste this array formula into our session metadata under H2. And you'll see that it automatically calculates that we've done no writing. We've done 0 minutes of writing. Now let's go ahead and go back to the form. We're going to click submit another response, and let's go ahead and enter our first day of writing. Let's say it's Saturday, November 1st, and let's say we wrote from 11 a.m. until 11:55 a.m. And let's say we wrote 800 words and 1 scene. So we'll click submit. So let's go ahead and go to our sheet. So you can see that we have the data entered here. It's Saturday, the date, the amount written, and here it automatically does the math for you. If for some reason there's a hashtag REF error on this sheet in the H column, you'll want to go to H3, which is the one that's highlighted now, and any data entered below it, and you'll highlight it and click the backspace, and it'll automatically fix that hashtag REF issue. If you want to read a little bit more about it, it is in the user guide, column 8. So now that that's added, we have the form connected. Let's delete our session metadata 1. We don't need it anymore. And when we do this, we're going to get a few errors, which we'll go through and fix right now. So let's start with a NaNoWriMo graph data. You can see that there's a hashtag ref error. That's okay. Basically what's happening is it's thinking that it needs to pull the data from session metadata 1, which is what we just deleted, instead of our session metadata. So what we'll do is we'll go into here and we'll just erase the 1, and it should highlight your formula in a different color. And we'll click enter and it'll fix the sheet. So now you can see that we wrote 800 words and 800 words total. Now let's just enter one more data point so that way we can see how these actual totals will update as you work through your draft. So let's go back here and let's submit another response. Let's do it for Sunday, November 2nd. And let's say we wrote from 9 a.m. until 10:12 a.m. Let's say we wrote 1,234 words and 3 scenes. We'll click submit here. Now when we go back to our tracker, we'll see on our session metadata we have more data here. And now when we go to the NaNoWriMo graph data, we can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the total words written. Now let's go to the dashboard because we're going to have very similar hashtag ref issues. So here it's doing the same thing. It's pulling from session metadata 1. We're just going to double click in here and we're going to erase the 1. And again, it'll highlight a different color once it's corrected. And then we'll go to here and you can see it's the same exact error. No problem. We're going to click into here and erase the 1 again. And same thing here. Now that all of that is fixed, you're good to go. This is going to automatically update as you enter more data into the form. And you can see here for Saturday and Sunday, we can see how many minutes we've written and what the average word count is and our scenes. Something that might happen for you that didn't happen for me is on the total time written, it might look a little bit like this. And that's completely okay. What you'll want to do is click on this box and then do the decrease decimal places until you get rid of the decimal point or you're just at the minutes. You might also have a similar situation in your session metadata where your minutes written might look like this. Then you're going to do the same exact thing. You're just going to back it up until you have no decimal points afterwards. If you do want to play around with this or you do want to try to edit anything, like for instance, if you don't like this line here, you can create conditional formatting here. I just went for a very basic formula, which adds 2 columns together. But what you could do is play around with Google Gemini. I've had a lot of success when I need help with formulas or understanding how something works. But that's all I have for you. I hope you enjoy the template, and I'm really excited to hear about how you're using it or if you have any questions. Have a wonderful rest of your day.